great. So we applied for the next cohort of recovery cafes, and we were accepted. So that's where it started.
And just to remind everybody, we're talking with Paige Britton and Camille Robberson here from the Recovery Den and the Recovery Cafe of Walker County. I think the cafe you said before we came on the air, you've only met 3 times now, and it's already been 120 people or so that have came through.
Yes.
I think that's a huge number for just starting up.
It's been really great.
It's absolutely a huge number. It makes my heart happy because I honestly, I knew that it would be a good thing, and I knew that we would have people. I didn't expect it to be so many, and it has continued. So it's not like it's just been one time and then, died down the next week because of something being new. It's been
It's
continuous.
going to be something that Walker County really needed.
Right.
And then when you're in the room with these people, you can tell that they're all enjoying it. They love being there, and they're happy in the room, and they leave feeling good about themselves. So that's what's important to me. So
Well, when a lot of people hear about or think about Walker County, they think about the negative things that they hear and see on the news, and they think about we're always talking about what a drug problem there was or is in Walker County and things like that. But I think it's so important for people to hear these positive things of this is what we're doing to fight this problem,
Right.
and that's what you guys are doing every day.
Right.
Unfortunately, Walker County has always been on the map for per capita, one of the most known for the
highest overdose rates per capita.
Yes,
Right.
we're trying to turn it around and make it. Walker County is one of the biggest recovery.
Right.
The recovery den can't take credit for that because it's not just the recovery den. It's every partner that comes into play through the Healing Network, and then all the certified recovery support specialists that are in Walker County that have been through their addiction here and now are on the upside of their recovery, that come together to as a team.
Yeah.
We all work as a team, and the biggest compliment that I get about Walker County is y'all are doing big things out there. Y'all are doing big things out there. I've never seen a recovery community like that.
Right.
And we've worked really hard towards that, and we just want to continue and make it a bigger recovery community. As strong as it is, but a bigger and stronger recovery community. Because when they see us in recovery, they know that it's possible. So,
The collaboration in Walker County is just amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same plan and goal, and just to see that come together is just so beautiful.
Well, and I really feel like the work that you guys in the network have done has made a huge difference because in the years that I've been involved in media in our area, which goes back, 30 years now, we've always talked about overdoses and drug problems and things like that. But it seems like it's only been in recent years that we've really, really started to chip away at that. And I mean, I don't hear about as many overdoses anymore. And I don't know if that's just because I don't hear it, but I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's still a big problem, but maybe it's not as big as it was.
Right. Well, we have so many naloxone resources now, and making that accessible has been amazing. There's a resource that has the boxes that they put Narcan kits in, so that's helpful. And then when you have all the resources that's getting Narcan and handing them out at every event, that's helpful, because you're putting it in the hands of people that are like, I don't need that. Well, let me tell you, even in my active addiction, I never encountered an overdose. It was in my recovery when I encountered an overdose in McDonald's bathroom, you know, and then in the parking lot of somewhere. So you never know. It's not for you. It's for if you encounter someone, so it has gotten better. We still have a long way to go, though.
Right.
I mean, as far as being the topic of conversation, I don't think that we're necessarily number 5 in the United States anymore. But our numbers are still hired them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely, it's an issue that will never go away.
Right.
But you want to combat it and fight it as much as possible.
Right.
Let's take a break real quick, just to give everybody a chance to listen to some sponsors and hear a song or two, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. I'd like to get a little more personal information about, where the start of Recovery Den overall came from, and then talk about some other events that you guys have coming up too. All right, we'll be right back here on Live at 9 on WJLX. And we're back on Live at 9 here on WJLX with James Phillips. I'm joined by Paige Britton and Camille Roberson. Not Robert, it's Robberson.
That's right.
I knew I'd get it wrong.
It's okay. Point. Everybody does.
They're with the Recovery Den and the Recovery Cafe, Walker County. Paige, I wanted you to tell a little bit of the story of the Recovery Den, just where it came from, out of your personal experience.
Okay, so I'm a person in long-term recovery. I've been sober now for 10 years, and I've been a certified recovery sports specialist for the last 7.5 years. And Walker County, doing this work in Walker County has meant so much to me, helping others, find their way or continue in their recovery. And I had other jobs before, the Recovery Den, before starting the Recovery Den, and I guess I would call it my God dream. That's the only way I know how to put it. I knew what I wanted in Walker County. I just couldn't get anybody to start one. And I loved the jobs that I had, or what I was doing at the jobs that I had, but I was not happy, because I saw needs and I wanted to make those needs, be met, a possibility. So we started meeting the certified recovery sports specialists in Walker County. We started having monthly lunches, and we were talking about the needs and how we can meet those needs, and that's where the idea of the Recovery Den came into play. And then I went and met with the court referral office and was talking to them about needs, and then kind of threw my vision out there to them. And they were like, well, why don't you use the office next door? It's not being used for anything, so why don't you just use it for free? And so that's how it all started. I, didn't even know that it would be a possibility until they made it possible for the Recovery Den to start. So I got people, that I know and I trust, and we built a board, and then got our 501c3, and had a lot of work to fix up the space that needed to be done, and it required a lot of personal funds and energy and time, blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
I was gonna say, she underplays the blood, sweat, and tears part.
But we got it done, and so the Recovery Den started. We opened our doors for the first time September 1st of 2023, and going into it, I knew there was going to be a lot of learning curves that I would face, but I didn't just know how hard it would be when it comes to knowing what you need to keep something going. And thank goodness for people, we had volunteer. If it wasn't for people volunteering, I would have never been able to make it. I was doing a lot of the work by myself, but because of groups like Recovery and Redemption, coming and volunteering time, or just individuals from, that are in recovery coming and volunteering, it helped me out a lot.
Right.
And then we finally were able to secure some funding, and hired Camille as the program coordinator, and also started the Recovery Cafe, and here we are, in a bigger space now. We're not beside the court referral office anymore, but we're in a bigger space that was needed because we hired some recovery support specialists, and then we also have Recovery Resource Center that comes in and does walk-in assessments on Wednesdays, and Recovery Resource Center is also there on Thursdays. So if somebody comes in and they're needing to get into treatment and they need an assessment, then they can get that on Wednesdays, walk in, and then Thursdays we can do it over the phone.
Right. Now, how did you get involved?
I actually met Paige and Nikki at Awakening Recovery at one of the groups one time, and I just decided I loved them and what they were all about, and I went to Paige's office and said, hey, this is what I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to volunteer and just be involved, and so she did. She volunteered several hours before starting, but I knew she was going to be a perfect fit for the program coordinator position, and here she is.
And so, as program coordinator, what's kind of your role?
My love, my baby is the cafe right now.
Yeah.
And all of our jobs here recently has been moving into this new space, and that's taken all of our energy for weeks and weeks. But now that we're finally in, it's just facilitating the cafe and making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, and doing social media and stuff like that.
Yeah. And to remind everybody, you guys are at Parkland Shopping Center,
Yes,
which
right next to H&R Block.
next to H&R Block. And for people who don't know that, but you are familiar with Jasper, that's the shopping center where Captain D's is
Yes,
at.
we're right behind
and
Captain D's.
in that area. So if you see Captain D's, you can find it. It's right there
Yes.
in that area next to H&R Block. Today you've got the Recovery Cafe.
Yes, we're
It-
having
it-
Domino's Pizza for lunch after our support group.
So Domino's Pizza. Anybody that wants to go check out the support group starts at
11 o'clock.
support groups at 11, and then eating right after that. And as we said earlier, it's for anyone. You don't have to be just recovering from drug, alcohol addiction, that sort of thing. Anybody going through any sort of, if you've been through trauma, if you have any type of anxiety, depression,
If you're a survivor of domestic violence, if you're someone that has went through homelessness or anything,
Just
Right.
navigating the hardships of life
yeah,
altogether.
if life's bugging you today,
That's
this is
right.
the place to go. If life's not bugging you and you're in a great mood, I bet it's still a good place to go.
Absolutely.
And maybe you can spread some of that sunshine.
There you go.
While we were in break, people listening on the radio, they could hear we had Twisted Sister playing, and people on Facebook could not hear that. We have to kind of go mute when we're playing music for copyright laws. But I joked around that maybe you'd be playing something a little more relaxing. Y'all said no. Sometimes y'all get kind of
We get a little rowdy in there.
In talking about music, what it's such a broad spectrum of music that helps people. Is that what y'all kind of do at Recovery DN2?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And like we said earlier, it's all about the mood of the day.
Yeah.
It's music is such a big part of recovery, I know for me, but for most people. And so it's pretty much the mood of the day takes over the speakers.
For you guys personally, what's some of your like go-to songs that for different reasons? You can say, hey, it might be for
Right.
this, you know.
Well, I'm hip hop all day, any day. But
I bugger with a lot of country
Yeah.
sometimes.
Okay.
I do. I love it all though. I mean, some days, like I just know that I need some worship music on, and
Right.
that'll be all I listen to.
Right.
And then some days
It
I'm
depends
like,
on the
I
headspace.
think today's just a country kind of feeling
Laid
day.
back day, yeah.
But most of them is hip hop.
Now, what's your go-to hip hop?
There's no go-to. It's just
All of it.
all of it.
All of it?
Well, no, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't.
Like, do you get into the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation?
Oh,
or-
no.
Okay.
We're not picking sides.
Good. Yeah, not picking sides. That
Not
could get you
picking.
hurt.
Yeah.
Not picking sides.
How about like 90s, 2000s hip hop?
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
That's more where my
We're all about telling Alexa to play us some 90s, 2000s
yeah.
hip hop.
Yeah.
Early
Absolutely.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I can go back to Dr. Dre and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Snoop, and
100%.
even before that, like Public Enemy and stuff. I joked that I had a year and a half where I really thought I was going to be a rap artist, but
You would have been great.
it did not pan out.
Well, I like classic rock a lot. But like that's all my husband will listen to. He will listen to old country, which I don't like
Yeah.
that. So.
See, I'd rather listen to old country. I don't like the new
I
stuff.
love
Yeah,
it.
well, I love the new stuff, and he likes the old stuff. And so when I'm around him, we that classic rock.
Yeah.
And then but it's hip hop and worship music and country. It's a little bit of everything. For
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And what about yours?
Oh, I'm a 90s baby, so I love anything from that genre.
Yeah.
Like, Alexa usually does us pretty well when we tell her to hit
Play
us
some
up with
90s.
the early 2000s stuff.
Well, y'all should be excited
We've
about
got her
the,
trained pretty
about
well.
the Foothills Festival this year.
Absolutely.
With 90s country and
There's
90s
such
rock.
a good lineup this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun for sure. So we talked about today, and Recovery Cafe is Fridays and Saturdays,
Yes.
right?
And the big end goal is to have it as many days of the week as we can based on funding and donations.
Right.
We have for that to pick up so we can use that space
Right.
more
well,
often.
See, we chose Friday and Saturday because we don't want to replace someone that's already providing lunch.
Right, because
Absolutely.
there are soup kitchens throughout the
Right.
area.
Yes, there are, and we appreciate them. We want them to continue doing what they're doing. But when we say every day of the week, we're talking about maybe doing a breakfast on the days where
Yeah.
there's someone that's not providing a breakfast,
Right.
or providing a dinner where breakfast and lunch is provided somewhere else. So we want to help where help is needed, and we can see that this has been a need and it's doing really well so far. So
Well, and that's the good thing about you guys talking about how the network works together.
yes.
And not just the Recovery Network, but even the Food Network and
Absolutely.
things like that. Y'all are plugged in with everybody else
We
to
took
make
a
sure
deep
that
dive.
you're not
Yeah,
overlapping.
we took a
Yes.
deep dive into the community to look who was providing what, where, and where we could fill in the gaps, and that's what the Recovery Den's been doing.
Yeah, but
Since
for
she
the
opened.
because of the Healing Network. That's where my heart is.
Right.
I mean, that's where my heart is because of the Healing Network started out with 5 people from 4 organizations and is now over 69 organizations and over 100 something people.
It's a beautiful
Right.
thing.
So we want to make sure, we want to bring resources in. We want more resources, out here providing services. So we don't ever want to overlap somebody that's already providing a service. We want, if they're doing it, we want to see how we can help them. If we see there's a bigger need that needs to be met, we want to see how we can help them. But we don't want to overlap.
Right.
services.
And everything you guys provide is free of charge? Is
Everything.
That's what I
Absolutely.
thought. And that leads me into what we had talked about before we came on the air as far as volunteers. Like, you guys need volunteers or you need donations. Talk about some of the areas where people can help the Recovery Den and the cafe.
So with the Recovery Den, we need men's clothing really bad. Sizes 32 to 36.
And waist, yeah.
And pants. We need men's shoes, women's shoes. So clothing items, toiletry donations would be
And
nice.
bring nice clothing
Yes.
items. Don't bring a bunch of, like,
Yeah, we
Right,
won't take 'em.
we try to
Take 'em.
prepare people
You're not gonna
for
give
job
away
interviews. Absolutely.
terrible looking stuff to people. Like,
Right.
you're giving them nice looking things.
Yeah.
We want them leaving with some dignity and ready to go.
Right.
Take
right.
their next steps.
Right.
Right. So if they want to donate money, they can bring a check or cash, or they can. We have a PayPal donation.
Yeah, there's a place on our website for
yeah.
easy donation.
They can donate through that, or they can donate through Venmo. So.
And what is the website?
It's therecoveryden.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
All
we'll be sure to-
lowercase.
We'll be sure to put that on our social media
Thank
and
you.
everything too.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And for the cafe, anybody that is just wanting to help, if they want to come and help serve people, that we just need to call us and get with us to prepare for that. If they want to provide pre-prepared meals, because we don't cook anything at the Recovery Den. So
Right.
if they want to donate some pre-prepared meals, we would love for them to do that. Or if they want to also donate some cash or check or anything like that. So we can use help in so many ways. The only thing is that, like the Recovery Cafe, anybody can volunteer, but with the Recovery Den, because the Recovery Den being focused on substance use disorder and mental health, they need to be in recovery
Right.
from substance use.
Right. And with the cafe, can people donate like non-cooked food items, like grocery
Absolutely.
items and things like that?
Yes.
While we're
we've
on the
actually
subject,
had a family that that met Camille at Aldi's and bought everything for a taco bar when we had the taco bar.
They just said, send us the grocery list, and they
Right.
went and bought everything and brought it to us. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have been so blessed with the community donations. 3D has donated so much to our pantry. We're so thankful for them, and we've had several families just step up and say, hey, what do you need for this day? We'll bring it. We'll drop it
Right.
off. It's been beautiful.
When y'all said you had one couple that brought like three
Three,
huge pots
yeah.
of
Yes.
spaghetti for
Yep.
one of the meals.
And salad to go with it.
yeah.
Yes. So,
that's
anything
awesome.
like that we have been very
So blessed.
And I think I read where a couple of restaurants have donated. So
Yes.
you got, if anybody's out there listening and they have a restaurant and they want to provide a meal or just some food, just
To-go boxes,
Yes.
paper towels, napkins, food. Yes,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, Applebee's donated a whole catering size chicken tender last week. That was
oh wow,
wonderful.
yeah, that's awesome. Anything else, you guys? Well, yeah, you said a couple more events coming up later in the year, and we'll talk about it when it gets that time. But tell us what all's coming up.
Okay, so we have
A ribbon cutting.
our ribbon cutting event for the Recovery Cafe and grand reopening of the Recovery Den. It will be on July the 18th from 11 to 1:30.
Okay.
And then we have our overdose awareness walk, which is August 31st. And then our Soberfest, our yearly Soberfest event. This year we're not doing it in September. We're having a Boo Fest, so we're doing it October the 4th. It will be downtown Jasper in the square.
We have so many fun things lined up for that. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Is it from 6 to 8, I think?
I don't want to lie to you. I don't know.
Anyway,
I believe so.
believe it's from 6 to 8.
Yeah, and it'll include like live music, just
Yes.
kind of a festival atmosphere.
Yeah, we're actually for the Soberfest Boo Fest event, we're gonna try to get Project Pat to come in and speak because he's in recovery and has changed his life so radically, and he goes and he speaks in prisons and things like that.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to get him to speak at Soberfest. We don't have. We're gonna do the chips, recovery chips. So if somebody's in recovery for just today, they can get a just today, chip, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth like that.
We're going to be painting pumpkins and face paint and cotton candy and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still in the planning, but these are
Yes.
definites.
Yeah.
So.
That's really cool. It'll be a lot of fun. I've been to one of the Soberfest before, and it was a lot of fun. Just a cool event, and then the walks are always really good.
Yeah.
And y'all have had big turnouts for those things too.
Oh yeah. Our community has shown up and shown out every year for all of these events, and I also think that's what makes us such a strong recovery community.
Yeah.
Because we support each other and we're all connected. Building each other up in some kind of way.
Yeah, I think seeing you guys work together has been such a good thing, because just watching the recovery community over the years, and really any part of the community over the years in Walker County, it was hard to get people to work together. But you guys are kind of being a shining example for that, to be able to show that we can all come together and fight
We're
the
better
same
when
battle.
we're together.
Yeah, exactly.
When we all come together, we all have something to bring to the table, and we're out here trying with a common goal, and so when we all link up, it's almost
magic,
impossible
yeah.
to fail,
Yeah, yeah.
And it, like she said, it's like magic's created at that time because we're better together.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys have got to run because you got to get the food ready for today, don't you?
Yeah.
And reminder, it's free pizza today, so go out and get some pizza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Come see us.
Come join our awesome little community.
Yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming by, and anytime the station or myself can help out, just let us know, and we're
Thank you.
happy to spread the word and come in and hang out, do whatever. So just let us know.
Thank you all so much for having us.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening this week to Live at 9. We'll be back next week on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I can announce that we've got a special guest She's a TikTok person that goes by Kimmy Kitten, and she does a lot of TikTok videos about Walker County that are kind of funny, and it should be an interesting conversation. So that'll be a lot of fun. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we got Woody Wilson, the professor of rock and roll, will be here. He'll be spinning some records and teaching you guys a little bit about music history throughout the day. So come listen to Woody from 10 to 2. And then we'll be back, like I said, on Tuesday here with Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX. See you then.